Hey friend, welcome to Self Transformed, a podcast redefining self-care through simple fitness, nutrition, and mindset habits. I'm your host, Emily Nichols, certified personal trainer, Whole30 coach, and Taco Tuesday enthusiast. Hey, I know the struggle is real when it comes to taking care of you. I too am a busy working mom who felt physically and emotionally drained until I took action on my own transformation journey. I finally found the solutions to feeling confident and living a healthy lifestyle that doesn't feel hard, and now I'm on a mission to equip you with sustainable tools to help transform your life from the inside out, guilt-free. Together, we will simplify your health and fitness into daily habits that don't feel like another thing on your long to-do list, but daily actions that light you up instead. So if you're ready to redefine self-care and step into your own self-transformation, then let's do this. Hey gang, let's keep this party going with our live debunking self-care workshop. This is day 2. If you missed day 1, you can go back and listen to yesterday's episode, or just go click on the link in the show notes and join my Facebook group. You're able to go over there, check out the guides section. I have all of the workshops posted there and additional worksheets that I've been creating over the past year for everyone in my community in order to help foster your own self-care routine. But in that group, you'll be able to access the 15-minute workouts I included at the beginning of each day of debunking self-care. So day 2, we're talking about your emotional health. Okay, so how we want to be loved and how we want to give love and how we all crave community and a sense of belonging. And I give you some action items on how to actually do that. We're going up those tiers of self-care and those basic foundational needs we have in our life so we're able to achieve that massive transformation. So just a reminder, Wednesday the 17th is the last day you can enter the giveaway. As a reminder, again, you can win 4 free virtual personal training sessions with me and a friend for you. A friend, not my friend, but your friend. But we'll all be friends at the end, right? And there's some bonus mindset habit coaching we'll be doing for you and your friend as well. It's over a $400 value. I can't wait to see whose names I draw. All you have to do is leave a review here in iTunes for the show, or go over to my free Facebook community, tag some friends, and invite them to the group for some bonus entries. Okay? So get your pen and paper handy. Let's talk about day 2 of debunking self-care. We're talking about your emotional health. Let's go. So on day 2, like I mentioned at the beginning of this workshop, we are debunking self-care. We are talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a psychology tool, and we're going through the bottom of the pyramid. There's 5 different levels to it. Last night, we started at the very bottom with the physiological needs. So we were talking about the basic needs we need in order to function. These bottom of the tier needs are deficiency needs. These are things that if we didn't have them, like food, water, sleep, for example, we would suffer. We would be in a deficit, and we need more of those things. So we talked last night about the food you're eating, sleep, and movement, and how that's all intertwined. It even goes into the next tier on the pyramid, which is safety, which kind of goes into personal security, your employment, but also your health, which obviously intertwines with that because we want to make sure we're healthy, especially after the last year. So we're going to move up one more tier in that pyramid where we're getting higher and higher on the pyramid, where we are getting closer to growth needs, where it's not dependent on deficiency, but it's dependent on growth and how you want to grow as a person. And by tomorrow, we're going to get all the way to the top of the pyramid. So we start with just the basic level. Last night, your physiological needs, and now we're going to move up. So that bottom tier is your basic self-care, is the foundation in order for all of these other pieces of the pyramid to stack up on each other and for you to have massive transformation. So we're talking about the next level up, is the 3rd level, which is love, belonging, or as I like to call it, emotional health. Okay, so this is very much so a form of self-care. And what we're doing to debunk self-care, we also talked about the difference between reactive self-care, which is some of the frivolous things we think about, which is when we're having a bad day, we go and drink like a bottle of wine, and we call that self-care. You're going to feel like crap the next day, no matter what. Or proactive self-care, which is the things we are talking about now to order to take care of yourself. And this stuff isn't easy. It's hard stuff to take care of yourself, but we're going to simplify it even more for you. So, community, belonging, love. This is really important for your emotional health. So back 13 years ago, when I had my first son, I felt like a lot of my friends disappeared after that because you're very isolated. You're just living in your newborn's life. A lot of my other friends were having babies, and I felt very lonely. And then I had friends. But they weren't like my community. They weren't checking up on me, seeing if I was okay, and that's so important. And as I got older, I was like, man, I really need to have people in my life other than just my little inner circle, like my family and my boys and our dogs that live here with us. So about 2.5 years ago, my husband and I, we went through this big transformation. We were doing like Spartan races together, doing these hardcore things, like just wanting to do hard things and feeling amazing. As we were doing these Spartan races, I was like, man, I should really start running more because this is not fun at all. I need to be more conditioned. And I've never liked running. I still don't like it. It's not one of my favorite things. But I wanted to meet more people, and I wanted to step out of my comfort zone. And I know it's really hard making friends as an adult. It's really freaking hard. We're going to dig into how you can do that more here in a minute. But just through church and through some mutual friends, I started running with a group of girls super early in the morning, and they became my tribe, my community. They were like-minded women who were wanting to challenge themselves mentally and physically, and they're some of my best friends now. But I had to go and make the effort to do that. If you don't have, that big group text with funny memes going around hyping you up, which is what we all needed this past year, especially, I suggest you go out, find people with similar interests as you. I know it's really hard. I know you're probably like, I don't have the time, but you need to make the time because it's so important for your emotional health. Why? Well, we want to avoid problems such as loneliness, depression, anxiety, which had been very heightened over this past year, right? With this new virtual world we're living in, and we're not feeling that connection with people right now. However you can communicate, however you're comfortable with right now, it's super important that you feel loved and are accepted by others, but also that you are able to give love. So personal relationships with friends, family, and your partners play an important role, but even just with thinking about religious groups, book clubs, other groups you're a part of, that is all part of our emotional health and feeling that sense of belonging. We all want to belong. It's a very simple need. But sometimes, maybe from childhood or even dreaded like middle school time, you've had bad experiences trying to make friends or bad experiences with other women just being catty. And you need to ask yourself, what are those experiences that give you that sense that you can't make friends right now? What are those experiences that you personally have? And how can you overcome that? So let's talk about 3 different areas that you can start taking care of your emotional health with that love and belonging piece of the pyramid of our basic needs. Now, remember, each one I'll have an action item for you too. So have a pen and paper handy. So friendships. When you feel part of a community other than the people in your home, your needs for connection can be met. And we've talked about this a couple of times. We'll be talking about it more on the Self Transformed podcast because community is so important. This is why we have this Facebook group. If you're looking for community and friends, it's right here. I want you to feel connected. That's why we're doing the daily fun posts so you can find people with similar interests or even just have a funny meme that makes you laugh. It's like one of my favorite things if you haven't noticed by now. But you want to create that support group that's going to be there for you, that loves your family, that loves on your children, that supports you and your spouse, other than like just your family and the people living in your home. So seek out new friend groups if you're lonely. A great way to do that is join groups of similar interests. Like, I started running. I still run now, even though it's not my favorite thing, but whatever. Connecting with other families. Use your kids. Hello, your kids. If your kids have parents around the same age or similar interests as you, we've made friends with our kids' friends' parents just over time, and it's like dating. It's like getting to know someone, and it's like, oh, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. I mean, trust me, there's been other families where we're like, that we just don't vibe with them, and that's okay. That's okay. Volunteering is a really great way to also make connections and just do something really good to feel good about what you're doing. We get so busy, though, that our friends take a back seat, and you need to make them a priority in your life. Ask yourself, if you're feeling lonely, maybe you are part of a friend group. Are you making the effort? Are you texting them, calling them, checking up on them, meeting up for coffee, or whatever you're comfortable doing right now? What are you doing to make your friendships a priority? It's so important for your emotional health and helps you feel that sense of belonging that we all crave so, so much. So let's talk about your partner, hubby, your wifey, whoever. Are you making the effort with your partner, or are you just roommates managing your kids' lives? Let me say that again. Are you making the effort with your partner, or are you just roommates managing your kids' lives? So the action for tonight or for today is to make time for your partner. Schedule a date night. I know that's hard. My husband and I, we need to be better at that. We're always like, oh, we need to schedule a date night once a month, just at least once a month. And sometimes it's been a couple months and we haven't done it. But we started a new rule where once the kids go to bed, we put away the phones. Does it happen every night? No, but we try really hard. Put away the phones unless we're just looking at funny dog videos. That makes me and him laugh. That way we're able to connect with each other, have some intimate time with your spouse, have some time with your partner, and make them a priority. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them what you can be doing to support them. Google love language and take the love language quiz and see what theirs is. Like mine is words of affirmation, and my husband knows that. So he knows I really feel appreciated and loved when I get words of affirmation. Like the other day, he said, "I'm so proud of you." And I was about in tears, just one little statement like that. For him, it's quality time together. That's why we put away our phones every evening. Or if we are having a discussion, we tell the kids, we need to wait a minute. We're not interrupting mom and dad. And we put away the technology as well. So we're trying to have a one-on-one quality time conversation together. So the action is just to make time for your partner, communicate with each other, find out his or her love language, and go from there. And lastly, faith. So this isn't really listed in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but love and belonging, and I feel like faith goes into that. And this is just my own interpretation. It's a big part of who I am, so I'm going to share it. So deeper, more meaningful relationships and a sense of connection and belonging happen a lot of times when you're deep rooted in faith. So regardless of what you believe, when you pray and have faith in what will happen for you and what you are meant to do, you feel more of a sense of love and acceptance. Okay. The love and belonging from the exterior, your partner, your friends, your other family members is great. But do you love yourself? Are you rooted in faith that you know that I need to love myself because I am the daughter of the King? That's how I interpret this love and belonging tier as well. So action, regardless of what you believe, like I said, pray and have faith. There's this sense of peace in yourself when you have faith, and it's easier to love yourself as well because God loves you. So a couple of things you can think about, like I already mentioned, you could volunteer. Another great way to meet other like-minded individuals, and it feels really good. Get involved at your church. I volunteer at my church by teaching boot camp, which is super fun. It's super early, but that's when I like to coach there so it doesn't interfere with my family life. Or even join like a small group to grow your faith. I recently joined a group of like-minded women with a small group. They were women I didn't know, which was kind of scary, but they're really great girls. And I feel like I've learned so much from them, and they've been hyping me up, giving me a lot of support as they've been praying for me through this transition of the rebrand. Okay. So emotional health. love and belonging. So we talked about friendships, our partners, faith. What can you do to take action in those 3 areas today? And what are you doing to cultivate the relationships around you? Friendships are not, and relationships are not a one-way road. If you don't put forth the effort, I imagine those friends are going to fade away. And we want that love and sense of belonging. So make the effort. Okay. I hope today's workshop was useful for you. Like I said, yesterday we talked about physical health. Today we talked about our emotional health, talking about love and belonging. We're going up that pyramid. So tomorrow, our last day, we'll be talking about almost to the top of the pyramid, your esteem or your mental health, which is so important, especially after this last year. We're going to get all the way. We're at the top now where we're focused on those growth needs, where we're focused on that massive transformation. You know, I shared yesterday my own transformation story back from 2015, and that growth felt good. It felt scary at first, kind of like the rebrand of the podcast felt scary and uncomfortable, but leaning into that growth, the more you do it, the more you're going to crave transformation. And we're always ever evolving. It's not fun to stay stuck and at the same level. You want to up level, go up that pyramid where we're having those growth needs. Okay. I hope today's Debunking Self-Care workshop was useful. Remember, focus on the proactive forms of self-care versus the reactive. I mean, trust me, I'm all about a massage or a manicure, pedicure. That's great. But I'm more interested in doing the hard, proactive things for self-care that are going to give me that foundation. So I have the energy to put into my kids, my husband, my friends. And that's what life is all about, right? Right. So don't forget, you can still enter the giveaway. It's going until this Wednesday, the 17th. Leave a review in iTunes. Search for Self Transformed. Take a screenshot and send it to me, or invite more friends to this group. We talked about love and belonging and emotional health. So invite them here to this group. I promise we'll keep growing with what we're doing here within the community. I'm so glad you're on this trip with me. So join us tomorrow morning again at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. If you're catching the replay, get your workout on, girl. You can do it. You can do it. Get your kids, your spouse, whoever involved, and have some fun. Okay. And if you haven't already, go ahead and listen to today's show, the first episode of Self Transformed, and tell me what you think. You can hear a little bit more about why I decided to rebrand, and I just appreciate the love and support. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be checking in throughout the day here in the group, and have a wonderful day. Sending y'all lots of love. Hey girl, real quick, before you go, if you love today's show and know your girlfriends need to hear this message too, then grab a screenshot, post it to your Instagram stories, and tag me at EmilyNichols22, because the more mamas out there hearing this message, the more empowered we'll all feel to take care of ourselves so we can pour from a full cup. Or the number one way you can thank me for this podcast is to leave a rating and review in iTunes. That way, more mamas will find the show here too. Love you and appreciate you, girlfriends. See you next time.